host, Eileen. Yeah. Boy. Therapy ain't cheap, but laughing sure is.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Eileen, and I'm back again for another episode on the Therapy of Laughter podcast. Y'all, I am so excited to sit down before you and have a good old talk. Hold on. I'm going to turn you up a little bit more in my ears. But I am so happy to have another talk, just a little chat. Y'all, how are you doing? How is life going? I hope life is going well for you. Life has surprisingly been going well for me. I told my mom the other day, I told my mom, because really and truly, that's probably the person I trust the most. And I said to her, it is my turn. I've definitely put in the work to now reap some of the fruit of my labor or my harvest. So I'm really excited. Now, if your story is not necessarily like mine and you're not really in a good season, I'm here to tell you that there is a light at the end of the tunnel because your girl has seen a glimpse of the light. I guess I could share my good news on here because, you guys are family and I share a whole bunch of other stuff and I share a lot of, I would say like trigger points, trauma, but I can finally come out and say that I have a new job. I finally got the job that I wanted in my career path. I am so excited to finally get my first big girl job in my career. I'm so excited. I have been applying for jobs for over 13 months and finally, your girl can finally say that she's employed. I was employed before, but now I'm actually employed doing something that I worked really, really hard in my degree to do, as well as working really, really hard in extracurriculars, as well as just plain old passions. And I know you guys are wondering, Eileen, what did you do? What type of job do you have? Well, I could tell you this, that I work in DEI, which is short for diversity, equity, and inclusion. So I work on increasing the presence of equity within organizations, and I actually work at a university, which is so friggin' funny that I work at a university. And you guys know how much I talk about how university was a struggle for me, how it was just like a breeding ground to finding myself, heartbreak, just everything included. So it's so crazy how I am now working at a university. It's so crazy. Like, I am really, really shocked. But yeah, that's what I do. I also bought my first car. Yay! I bought my first car, guys. I have said I wanted this type of car since I started driving, to be very honest. I wanted this car when I was in high school. So I got my license when I was 16. I've been wanting this car for so long. It was either this or a Nissan Juke. I actually got a Kia Soul. Y'all, I am riding in a 2022 Kia Soul. It's 2022 and I'm riding in 2022. Madness. Like, guys, I am so grateful and so thankful for God keeping his promises towards me. And I just had to have that little moment of testimony and telling you guys, because I've come on here and talked about stories about me missing the bus and running for the bus and missing the bus. I've told stories about trying to find my career and applying on LinkedIn and networking and doing all these stuff and having so many conversations with you guys about feeling like I have no idea what I'm doing and just feeling like whatever I was doing was not enough, or I didn't know if that was the direction I was supposed to go in. But one thing that I can say is that I was really, really faithful with my journey, as much as it felt like it was as much as it felt like it didn't make any sense, to be very honest, especially when my counterparts were buying cars, moving into their homes or moving into their apartments, getting their careers and doing their big things, while I was still gathering my pebbles for war. I say for war because like I made the reference to David. Okay, sorry, that was a little church kid reference, but yeah, so I definitely, when I was looking around me, I felt like, man, I'm 2 steps behind. But it's so funny how God can say, no, you're actually on the right path. You're actually doing what I've called you to do. And you're actually doing exactly what I wanted you to do in this season. But I feel like I'm getting too much into the last episode of this year. So let's just retrack. I know I'm in testimony time, but I want to reel it back in, and let's talk about today's topic. And today's topic is pray, gym, sleep, work. Y'all, pray, gym, sleep, work is my life. That is my routine. And as I was drafting up or thinking about this podcast, and I was just like, boy, the year has come to an end so fast. And before November happened, also, let me bring that back to testimony time. But I actually went on my first vacation that I paid for I paid for the whole vacation on my own, which is absolutely fine. So I paid for a vacation. I bought my car. I did my first, well, it's not my first speaking engagement, but I was invited to my first speaking engagement where the person didn't even know me in real life. I actually got to minister in November, and I got a job the first week of December. Technically, it was in November, but they had to make their decision. But we already knew I got the job in November. But yeah, so I did all of that. So as I was thinking towards the end of the year, I had written what I was going to talk about in October. So I was talking about like, oh my gosh, like, yo, the end of the year has come up on me. And I'm like, I'm still in the same place as I was at the beginning of the year. I felt like, bro, like what goals have I accomplished? I mean, now that's not necessarily my story, but I was really thinking about, my routine of praying, going to the gym, working, sleeping, or whatever whatever I said, pray, work, sleep, gym, whatever. Y'all know the motto I said, or the routine I said. But yeah, I was just really thinking about my routine. And I remember on TikTok last year, I put on like a little boomerang of me, and I said there was like some things that I wanted to do next year, which was 2022, which was one, increasing my routine. And I think that a lot of times in life, we're really obsessed with the results. So regardless if my breakthrough never happened this year, right? I was really obsessed with the results, not really seeing that the routine that I was putting in, the consistency of going to work, the consistency of applying to jobs, the consistency of hitting the gym, the consistency of sleeping, the consistency of praying was so much more valuable than the actual fruit of my labor. It's the act of doing labor. I really feel like I'm preaching, but honestly, that is my heart. Like the act of doing, the routine, the diligence, the faithfulness, the steadfastness is so much more important. And I know there's people out there who's like, girl, I've done it. Girl, I'm doing it and I'm not seeing any results. But I'm here to tell you that even if the results don't come, it's so much greater that you have a routine and you have a diligence about your life that makes you unstoppable. To be very honest, I honestly, I'm kind of overwhelmed with the things I want to say, because I know I love to keep things lighthearted and keep it like jovial and things of that nature. But to be very, very honest, I have to speak from like the depths of my heart on just life and routine. And I could tell you this from right now. This year I really wanted to lose 50 pounds. I was really, really hard on myself this year. I didn't even start working out until February. Started working out, but like I said, you guys heard on episodes before, I'm an emotional eater. I emotionally eat all the time, so that definitely got in the way of my results. And as I was writing about the podcast, that was the first thing that came in my mind when I thought about my routine, because before seeing the results, or before knowing that the results were coming, not getting the understanding that the routine is more important than the results, I was thinking, I'm like, oh, like, all I do is go to gym, all I do is all I do is pray, all I do is sleep, and saying it in kind of like a depressing tone, like, man, did I waste my time doing all this routine to just not get any results, to still feel large and in charge, to still feel as though I'm just big botia. And it was a moment of heartbreak, to be honest, a slight heartbreak, not too much, but like a slight heartbreak of like, man, like maybe you didn't reach your goal, maybe you're not necessarily not, because we're not going to speak those word curses, we rebuke it now. Flat tummy has to be my portion in next year. But it's the fact that you stayed consistent. It's the fact that you kept on going even when you didn't see results, even when you felt like nothing was happening. It's the fact that you kept going to the gym and you kept trying to start over and continue and jump back and find new routines and reach out to people who who are more athletic, to try new activities. That is a lot more important as I look back. Sorry, something's on my lip. Like, I'm not cutting that out. I hate when that happens. Like, when you're talking and then you just feel like your lip just dry all of a sudden. It don't make no sense. But anyways, so yeah. And I'm going to go back to my notes because I really want to talk more in depthly about this. So a lot of times, like I was saying before, I was beating up myself about not seeing the results. But I had to realize also that results are found in the routine. And there's times where I could have been a lot more consistent. There's a lot of times that I could have been a lot more disciplined. But the fact that I kept on showing up is what counts. And little do you know, the routine is actually preparing you to handle the results. So the routine of, let's say, going to the gym, I'm talking about the gym now. The routine of going to the gym has prepared me to handle a healthy lifestyle. When I was working the 3 jobs and I was saving like crazy, I would take 2 paychecks and not touch it. I would take, let's say I had 2 paychecks, right? So I had 2 paychecks. So I'll take the 2 paychecks and I would save it. And then I would take one of my paychecks. So one of my paychecks was probably like $1,300. So I would take the 1,000 of the 1,300 and just only spend the 300 for the next 2 to 3 weeks, right? So me saving so intensely has prepared me to handle the financial, I wouldn't say financial burden, but the financial weight of having a car, right? Me applying to jobs and watching videos on my sector, as well as redeveloping my resume, as well as sitting down and have informational interviews with individuals who are in the DEI or diversity, equity, and inclusion sector has prepared me to enter into this field, to handle the results of my routine of looking on LinkedIn every night before I go to bed. And every morning or every time I would get frustrated at work, I would just open up LinkedIn and I'll save jobs, and I'll be like, okay, when I get home, I'll apply to that. That routine of staying diligent, that routine of never giving up, that routine of staying faithful, that routine of being relentless has prepared me for my results of having a very focused mindset when it comes to my work ethic, having a very, let's say, accurate pitch. Not accurate pitch. Is accurate pitch good? But like, let's say, for instance, with my cover letters, right? So I would say I have about 20 to 30 different cover letters that I have written over and over and over again. And I can tell you that the cover letter that I wrote for the job that I have now, that cover letter is damn good. I tell you that much. And it honestly has helped me. How I wrote that cover letter has helped me in my proposals for equitable strategy within the university. So listen, y'all. Everything that you're doing, everything that might seem boring in your routine, some people might be like, oh, do you do anything else? That routine will help you manage the results that you're about to experience. And I know, like I said before, I know the end of the year is coming. And like I said, I was beating up myself for not seeing the body results. And to be very honest, I was beating up myself for not even getting results of having a car. And having a car is very materialistic. And I know a lot of people are like, oh girl, you're doing the most about a car. But y'all know, if you true friends, you really know how much I struggled. I commuted 2 hours up to 4 buses in the freezing cold for work. So the fact that I have the car is actually a lot more than actually having it. Has a lot more to do with like God keeping his promises, because to be very honest, it's a miracle why I even got that type of car as well. But anyways, I was beating up myself about the results, because I'm just like, come on, girl, you've been at it. Where are the results? Even if they don't come, the routine, or even if they didn't come, the routine has prepared me to handle it. And that's what I want you to remember into next year. Please do not stop the routine that you've created for yourself. And even if you don't have a routine, it's okay. You can definitely make one and start small. Start very, very small. My suggestion for routines, I would start with like waking up, making sure your waking up times are consistent. I'm not the most consistent with my waking up times. However, I try to at least wake up before 8 a.m. at minimum. Now there are days where it's harder and I do give myself grace. But yeah, I just try to wake up that time. If I don't go to the gym in the morning, I still will wake up at the same time I would have wanted to go to the gym, and then go in the afternoon. The routines of jobs, I would just try to stay on top of all the resumes. I would keep my resume on my phone. I was so open to correction. I was always looking on YouTube or Instagram or LinkedIn how to better my resume, how to better my cover letter. I send out my cover letter and resumes to a lot of different people to have them review it. What else did I do in regards to my car? I just worked. I had parents promise to buy me cars. I've had family members promise to buy me a car. I've had a parent tell me that he was going to pay for my insurance, and he didn't. So, in spite of that, I still saved and still prepared as though I was going to do it all on my own, which I did. And I'm very, very proud of myself to be able to do everything on my own, no consignor or nothing. I just prepared to do that by saving, by working, and by always keeping my goal in mind. Even when I felt like I had no idea what I was doing, I just knew that I was going to do something. Okay. Now, I'm talking about routine and I'm talking about results, and I'm honestly talking from a place of privilege, because a lot of times I'm talking from my own perspective, thinking that, okay, most people are like me that have a routine. Well, like I said, I'm giving you some tidbits on how to build a routine, but I'm also here to let you know that it is okay if you don't have one, and it's okay if you had one, want to build one, and you just are not in the proper mind state to continue to have a routine. Because to be very honest, not everybody's perfect. Not everybody has all their chips lined up in order or ducks in a line, whatever, y'all know what I mean. But not everybody has all those stuff together. So I'm here to say, just give yourself grace and give yourself time and be diligent. I feel like I'm really flowing into the next episode, so I'm going to stop it right here. Come back next week because I have more stuff to talk about in regards to routine, in regards to life and its challenges, and in regards to allowing God to stand in your life and stand in the place of your plans at some time. Sometimes, actually not sometimes, all the time. So yeah, I'm going to stop it right here because I really feel myself flowing into the next topic and I don't want to do that. So this is a to be continued episode. I love you guys very, very much, and I will see you next week. Bye.